Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're not actually doing the wall bar right there. You guys know how to do the wall bar? Yeah, you can't see our legs. We're doing the step. How much of the song do we have to play? I don't even know, like 15 seconds or whatever. Okay, here, I'll do it like look how plain that looked. Hi everybody, welcome to our launch of the Mrs. Wobbles and the Tangerine House ebook unboxing. Should we introduce ourselves?
No. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Genevieve Marino. I write these books with my dad. Oh,
that's me. I'm Genevieve Marino. I write these books with my dad.
I'm just here. I'm Davion Marino. I also sometimes collaborate.
Yep, there you go. It's collaboration magic. And today we're launching Mrs. Wobbles and the Tangerine House unboxing. And which is available on Amazon Kindle, or also soon to be available on Apple Books and Google Books and maybe Kobo. Stay tuned. We want to thank everyone. We want to
for coming,
and we want to thank also, especially Kevin, who's here,
and other people.
Yep. And we have actually a long list of people that we're going to thank at the end, but we especially need to thank Barbara Marino, also known as to these guys as Mama, known to me as the love of my life, for supporting us throughout all of our endeavors. So without further ado, we're going to just jump right in to a little reading of the story. But first, I think we should hear from the kids, virtually speaking. So,
from us.
Well, let's hear from you back in the start. Oh, wait.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Mark Marino, and these are my two kids.
Hi, I'm Jenna. And I'm Davion.
And together, we're the authors of
Mrs. Wobbles and the Tangerine House.
Now, when I say we're authors together, here's what I mean.
The kids get to write some too.
And they get to decide what happened to the characters. In fact, you'll get to decide what happens to the characters as you read through this interactive story.
I had some fun jokes. And I added some subtext with literary devices.
Sorry, I wrote that line.
Papa!
Well, we've released our first of the stories, The Mysterious Floor, and you can go and read that now and sign up for updates about our next stories by going to the webpage you see right about here. That's about it. We'll look forward to giving you more news soon.
Bye!
That joke doesn't get old.
Well, yeah, which one? All of them?
The Papa joke.
Yeah, yep.
He wrote that line.
I wrote that line, yep.
I never know.
And you guys can go to this link that's right here. I feel like that's a joke that doesn't get. Okay, all right, no, without further ado, we're gonna read from the story some excerpts. It's being launched right now.
Actually,
We're gonna read it
5 seconds.
in 5
It's being
seconds. It's being launched.
for the
5,
first time ever.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo!
Woo! And just to prove that it's been launched, if you were to go in your browser, we'll send you a link for sure. There is a little bit.ly to remember, but I'll just show you right here. It's because the sharing magic. There you go, and there it is. You can go get it. Don't hold back. Don't wait. There might be a sale later if it's too much. Okay, all right. But now let's hear some of the story of unboxing. So we want to start on that page or that page? That page. That page? No, that page. That page. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. We picked our page we're going to start on. Then you guys are going to have to help. And by you guys, I largely mean Kevin, but
And the other people.
and the other people.
We'll poll. We'll put a poll.
We'll
up.
take a poll. Yeah, we'll take a poll about where we should go. All right, so here we go.
And now,
Said Cece with a flirt. Oh, just so you know, I'm I'll be the narrator. I'm gonna do it in the voice of the book. Sorry.
I'm gonna play Cece. He's
Uh-huh.
gonna play Wonton.
Or Mandu, and then I will play Sonogong. Okay. All right. That's good. We're good. Okay. So take it from the top again.
And now,
Said Cece with a flourish.
let's see what's in the next box.
Drawing the beat-up cardboard box closer, Cece slowly and dramatically opened each flap, first the left, then the right, to reveal Sonogong, her stuffed monkey. Was he raising an eyebrow in protest, or had the glue just come off?
Look who it is! Sonogong, the Monkey King!
She exclaimed triumphantly, lifting him out and sitting up his tattered plush relic regally. Well, as regally as a stuffed monkey can sit.
And
She paused for 6 seconds,
is there anything else in here?
Maybe some cockroaches.
spat Wanda as she walked down the hall, her frizzy hair flouncing a bit as she walked, her sandals accentuating each flip and flop.
You are ruining my take.
Growled Cece. She would just have to start her recording session all over. But Wanda could not let it go.
You realize the whole point of those boxing videos, open something brand new right from the store, don't you?
They are called unboxing videos, and this is just a rehearsal, so I can raise my production value.
Then Cece turned back to the imaginary smartphone.
Wanda clearly knows nothing of the art of modern movie making.
Cece explained to Sonogong as she carefully and gently placed him back inside the box for a new take. Wonton, Mrs. Wobble's puffy Pomeranian pooch, looked on with interest as the boxes, and maybe with a little envy at how much attention they were getting.
You know he can't talk.
Said Wanda, now back in the room.
He can. He's just ignoring you because he's the bigger person.
Bigger person was what the kids in the Tangerine house would say when they wanted to declare themselves to be better than the other person and have the last word. I won't tell you where that came from. Of course, we don't need to tell them that making that declaration made them actually the smaller person.
Whatever.
Puffed Wanda. Cece tried to calm herself by looking at her fingernails. Since unboxing videos were all about the hands, she needed just the right nails. But how could she think about nails when Wanda had gotten so deep under her skin? Now, just like any normal book, I know what page should come next, obviously. But if you were Cece, or even me, the narrator, would you choose to glance at her spectacular nails, or just stay irritated and turn to a whirlwind? Should we ask our audience? Yeah. I guess so. All right. What should we do? We're taking a poll now.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind. All right. Whirlwind it is. That's when it happened. Too fast to see it coming. Boxes everywhere. Lamps toppled over. Sonogong tossed against a wall, a crumpled ball of stuffed fur, and even brash and bold Wanda was on the ground, lip bloody. Chaos.
What was that?
Asked Wanda, shaking her head.
I don't know. I don't know.
Was all Cece could say on repeat. Some kind of whirlwind, said Mrs. Wobbles, who might have been standing at the doorway for hours, her presence so still. It was like she was part of the house sometimes.
Some kind of whirlwind,
said Wanda, getting up slowly. Cece was silent. Wonton, Mrs. Wobble's Pomeranian, padded across the floor, totally unfazed. Cece wondered what it would be like to be a chill dog, just going through life from meal to walk to nap and back again. Happy. That kind of thing blows in and blows on out.
Miss
Mrs.
Wobbles gave her a comforting pat on the back and hand, getting up back on her feet.
Sometimes you just gotta let it do its thing. Cece nodded, but still felt shaken by the whole experience. I've got something for you, Cece, said Mrs. Wobbles, and it's about time I gave it to you. And still quite shaken, Cece followed Mrs. Wobbles out of the room. You've been in a whirl, baby girl, said Mrs. Wobbles, retrieving a box from some unknown nook of the Tangerine house and carrying it into the girls' bunk room. The box was so unusual, not the smooth, simple cardboard boxes Cece pulled out of the recycling, but a rich, ornate box with a beautiful knot pattern carved into its sides. Its lid was held down with a simple latch. Here we have it. A box of the most delicate things things you wouldn't want to lose, but maybe don't want to deal with right now. I placed it in a box for safekeeping. And now she set the box down for Cece to marvel over. The sides felt solid, like they could hold tight, but they were strangely warm. This box will keep everything safe. You may want to leave them there. Opening boxes can lead to a rush like a wind that'll spin you round. Cece opened her mouth and then shut it, not sure what to say. Or you could open it when you're ready. Got to face them fears eventually. Again, I'm not entirely sure what page comes next. This happens to a lot more books than you might think. Could you give me a hand for more on Cece and her age, for example? Or you think about the box, or you could learn about that knot pattern. Which would you like, audience?
What knot
Box.
pattern?
All right. Looks like you said box. But not, I think the knot pattern on one.
Does it say? When did we introduce it?
Oh yeah, it's on the sides of the box. We're good. We're good. Should we maybe you guys could take some if you want.
What the box is?
A container of memory, a keeper of secrets, a protector of vulnerabilities, a holder of stories.
What the box is not.
A keeper of good times, a showcase for trophies, a container for pride in herself, a source of comfort and joy, an ordinary box.
Should Cece open the box? She was told not to, and not so much told per se, but she knew she shouldn't open it, assuming there was a box at all. What do you think, audience?
Open the box.
Open the box? Open it. Oh, it's time to open. All right, open the box. You that's a tidal wave of response. Are you sure she should open that? Are you?
Open the box.
Okay. If you open the box, you will not be able to close it again. You will have to deal with whatever is in it. You will have to come to terms, not just with the things inside, but why they were put in a box to begin with. If you open the box, whatever is inside will be yours forever. If you open the box, you will have to admit that whatever is in the box has always been yours, belongs to you, made you, is a part of you, even when it is out of sight. If you open the box, you will have to accept the fact that you are the box and all it contains. Again, if you do not open the box will remain closed, but it will always be waiting to be opened. If you do not open the box, whatever's inside will still be yours, but you will not be looking at it. And so it will do what things do when they stay only in our mind's eye. They grow, and they grow, and they become much more than they were. But they are like shadows that turn out not to be anything at all when you go to grab them. These are like shadows because the thing that is making them grow on the floor and then up on the wall to be much bigger than you is the fact that there is something blocking the light. And that something is you. So you really want to open it? Or if you change your mind, that's fine. I can respect that. Go here.
Open the box. Open the box. No, I really want to open the box.
You say, all right, well, let's go. So you really are opening the box.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Then there you have it. It was opened. It is open. And what came out of the box was the wind. Not a cool, refreshing breeze, but a wild wind, the kind that scatters pages, the kind that brings back memories, not in order, but all at once. A chaos of memory flying out of the empty box. And, well, the wind has apparently blown me out of sequence. Maybe it started before the box, but I definitely blame that wind. I used to have a sense of how things should go, but now I cannot really tell my beginning from my end. I have page balls and other non-story pages, if such a thing is possible. Cece in the room after she opened the box. What's in the box? Cece stared at the contents of the box, or really, she looked down at the no contents in the empty box, because the contents of that box were already absorbed into her, and Mrs. Wobbles put an arm around Cece's shoulder, which caused Cece to suddenly jump back, and when she jumped back suddenly, she crashed into the photograph, whose glass shattered and spread across the floor in random shapes.
But that's what made the box?
And Cece was confused. And Mrs. Wobbles looked at her with wet eyes, with those "I see your suffering and feel it too" tears, and whispered, "And until you piece it together, it'll happen again." There were surprises from opening the box.
That was unexpected.
You have to be a little bit louder. Sorry. You want to do that again?
That was unexpected.
Cece turned around to see no one, not one person. Unless you counted Wonton, Mrs. Wobble's Pomeranian puffball. Her dog, that is.
Down here.
Perhaps we should have counted Wonton, because the voice was his.
Excuse me?
My name is Wong.
Cece gave out a little yelp.
I think you meant yip. When I'm alarmed, I yip.
But why yip when you can talk?
Too much effort.
Said Wonton, and circled and curled his way into a napping ring on a pillow. Cece just stared with her mouth open wide as the box, except instead of chaos coming out, only breath.
You really ought to close that. Not good. Not for good, just for now. Never know what might come in.
Sorry, it's just, I'm not really used to seeing dogs talking.
Just monkeys.
Asked Wonton, and she had no idea what he was talking about until she heard another voice. "We should really get out of here,"
Said her plush monkey. Sonogong, she said in alarm, being even less accustomed to stuffed monkeys talking, but only just a little bit.
"The Monkey King.
He said, hopping from the bed to the nightstand.
You've heard of me? You know my story."
Cece gave a little shrug.
"I blame you for her ignorance, and by you, I mean you, the narrator, Book of the Lost."
I hate it when they address me. Makes my pages color.
"I'm not sure how your pages color, but you said we should leave. Who's the dog?"
Wonton.
"Ha! Should call him Mandu. Mandus are Korean wontons, but better. Plus,"
Plus what?
growled Wonton and maybe Mandu. "Plus," said the Monkey King, leaning in with a grin, "if you're a wonton, you'll likely get fried or end up in the soup."
Mandu it is.
Said the dog with a shrug. "So I guess that's what I'll call him too." Sonogong mounted Mandu like a horse, which did not faze Mandu in the least. And there they are. That's an illustration from the great illustrator, Brian Gallagher. And we're very grateful to him for doing all these drawings, for sure. He really does a fantastic job bringing those things to life. And that's when the cards flew out of the box. Among the contents of the box were a deck of cards. On the back of them was the phrase, "Spell the spell," which made no sense. Eventually, she found one labeled "Start Here." But Cece had no idea which one came next. Start here. Put your right hand, you guys can do this at home too if you want. Put your right hand under your left arm, a little below the armpit. Now put your left hand under your right arm, same. It took Cece a second to realize she was giving herself a hug. And she gave a little squeeze. A glowing ball of light and energy and more than a little bit of warm, sparkly love appeared in the air a small distance from her and turned into, well, you got to choose. Which color? Red, yellow, or blue? Okay, I think he's pointing that way. I think to red. Is that the direction?
You mean
He's flipped.
everyone?
Everyone's pointing to the same direction. They all seem to be saying red or blue. Like it's blue. Red.
I think the audience is
Blue.
just
Blue,
in
blue,
favor
blue.
Blue.
of
Blue.
whatever.
All right. It seems to be blue. You want to read that one?
Dazzling, bejeweled magic shoes that could make the wearer dance the ghost dance, a traditional Korean step. But before she could try them on, they turned into
Circles, squares, or triangles?
trying.
The whole audience is drawing a shape. Seems like it's triangle. Yeah, it seems like that's what they're drawing, yes.
You got it.
8 trained seahorses that could talk, but talking often leads people to bickering, especially if they're poorly trained seahorses that turned into.
Now, rubies, diamonds, or pearls?
How do we know that the horses were seahorses? What are they saying?
I mean, magic. Oh, wait, circle.
Pearls.
That's pearls. All right, nicely decoded. So here we have the pink kimchi jar.
Well, the kimchi, or seasoned and pickled cabbage, was pink, and the jar was clear. That's what she conjured.
To get to use the magic object, complete the challenge. Let's see what the challenge is. Okay, so we have a challenge here that we're not going to be able to go into too much detail because we have to move on, but this was created by Margaret Ree, who is a poet who has been a great supporter of the Mrs. Wobble stories and has helped us in the past and has even contributed a poem to one of our stories. So we have the pink kimchi jar is full of what looks like kimchi. Oh, we already had that. Yeah, of course, I think. And so here's the directions on how to do this exercise of kimchi poetry. So in theory, people would do this. And the book is full of crafts like these. And it gives you directions on how to do it. Okay, well, I guess we should go to see the backpack. Who's going to be the voice? Who wants to do the voice of that backpack? You want me to be it? You want to do your backpack? Oh, he's going to be the backpack. Well, you're going to need this,
Said Sonogong, and threw her a backpack.
Oh, great. Just toss me around.
Said the backpack, very down in itself. A talking backpack? Like Indora?
The Monkey King tilted his head, not comprehending.
Explorer.
That's you.
The explorer?
I have no idea what you are saying, declared the Monkey King.
Backpack. I get to call you Boots.
The Monkey King stiffened as much as his plush body allowed and continued to look for an exit. So should we talk to the backpack or no time? Let's go. Oh, okay. We're talking to the backpack. I think the audience just wants to hear you read more lines.
Okay, backpack.
It's like Penang. That's you.
Penang.
Said the backpack.
Penang.
Hey, what?
Penang. It's my name. Don't worry. No one ever says it right. No one in this country, at least.
Sounds like you're kind of down.
He can't help it, said Sonogong dismissively. He's emotional baggage.
That doesn't seem like a nice way to talk about anyone, said Cece, giving a comforting brush to the scrap.
No, he's right. It's not an insult. It's who I am.
Well, I feel kind of reluctant to store my things in your head.
Don't think about it too much. Kind of gets kind of upsetting to most people.
Well, I'm not most people, but I do need some place to put my things.
Very carefully, she slipped her things into the backpack, who, aside from seeming to frown, did not seem fazed in the least. All right, let's go. The plush monkey scanned the room. Got to be an exit around here somewhere. We just need hello.
And before Cece could also say hello, she saw where his eyes were pointing. It was the box, the open box. That might be a good place for you to go. But I'm not 12 inches tall or wide.
I gathered that, but doesn't matter, he said, hopping down from the nightstand on Amandu's pillow. That's no ordinary box.
You think?
Said Mondu, half opening one eye.
No, some of us are trying to get sleep.
Well, sleep no more, my friend. In 5 minutes, that chaos wind is going to wind its way back in here. And when it does, that book friend of yours is a goner. I really do not appreciate that they continue to drag me back into this story. I'm really more of a frame, like a window through which you can see the story. Broken window if we don't get out of here, said the Monkey King. And now he was sitting on top of Mandu.
I believe you're thinking of a horse.
Said Mandu, now squeezing his eyes closed in maximum effort to fall or be asleep. I appreciate your commitment to the lazy dog cover story.
Horror story.
Now Mondu was getting upset and had risen up to his full height. Well, full height when he was on four legs at least, and began marching around the room.
That's it, said Sonogong. Now, into the box. Cece, you go in after us. Are there any choices here, or are we just jumping? Jump or don't jump? Jump, don't jump, jump, don't, jump around. Okay, now we're not going to read we'll read a little bit of this glossary section, but we're not going to read the glossary entries. You'll have to read those on your own.
Where are we?
Asked Cece, feeling a bit of the buttered tummy she used to get when anything was out of order. I believe.
And here, Sonogong was riding a ring around the tail.
We are in the glossary.
How can you tell?
The boldness of the first words.
Replied the commanding stuffed monkey, who had the kind of bearing of a military commander or warrior.
And
How boring all this is.
Yawned Mandu.
Nothing like a list of words and definitions. Feels like school.
Have you been to school?
asked Cece before she realized how offensive that question might be to some dogs, talking ones at least.
No, I've seen it in the movies and even fast forward through, but it also puts me to sleep.
He yawned again.
Well, what are we supposed to do here?
This, said the Monkey King, dismounting from the dog, who quickly went to lie down, is our staging area, where we come up with a plan and make some difficult choices.
But why here?
Asked Cece, sitting down with her back up against some words. Because no one will think to look for us here.
Amen to that. I wouldn't read this. I was words being fine.
And maybe we'll read this definition. Mandu, perhaps the laziest creature in this story. Formerly wonton, a mandu is also a Korean steamed dumpling made of dough filled with meat and other things, seasoned with sesame and soy sauce.
You think you are so funny. And you've screwed up the order.
Cece had to shake to try to squirm out of the feeling she got when she thought about that. A glossary out of order? What could she rely on if even the alphabet forgot its place? You okay?
Asked Sonogong, eyeing her with concern. I don't think so. I mean, I can't tell.
That's to be expected. You've been through a lot. We've just taken apart the one thing you used to rely on. Order, sequence.
Yeah, about that, how do we know where to go next?
Must be some reason the wind thought it could make a mess of your story. Must be some pages you were trying to hide. That'd be my guess. Cece just looked down and away. You want to make a whop sound? Mandu gave the plush monkey a whack with his tail.
Watch it. Don't push. It's not time. You can't tell it before she's found it.
The monkey warrior bowed deeply. My apologies. My duty to honesty overcame my duty to sentiment,
It's all right.
mumbled Cece, and she began reading the rest of the glossary.
Hey, here's an idea. What if we use the glossary as a leaping off point? We can go from the glossary to some of the places the words show up.
The plush monkey nodded with admiration, his chin set in a smile dawning on his serious face. Might work. Might just work.
I'll stay here.
Said Mandu again and curled up for a nap.
I'll keep the pages warm for you.
And with that, he fell asleep.
So eventually, we might wrap up here for now. I don't know if our reading, but eventually they jump into either the footnotes and go through a bit of a maze, or they can go to the crossroads, which if you access it like so, you can see all of the chapters. Again, if you're feeling very brave, and you can go wherever you would like in this whole story. But it is a good time for us to call up the gratitude page. So, once again, we owe so much thanks to so many people. Our family who supported us through these many years. Barbara Marino, also known to D&J as Mama, who continues to put up with our antics. Mark's mom, Nana, and Barbara's mom, Grandma. And not to forget Mark's dad, who always encouraged his writing and showed him over and over how to tell silly stories. Thanks to Uncle Jim for straining his back and eyes, finding all those typos. And special shout out to Mark's grandmothers, two amazing storytellers as well. Thanks to Brian Gallagher, who brings these tales to life with his amazing illustrations. All of the advisors and playtesters like Jeremy Douglas, Jessica Pressman, Maria Goicoechea, who translated Switcheroo into El Cambiazo, Kevin Schaff, who's here with us today, Dave Chicarico, Renee Carter, Christy Dina, Lau Scales, Dina Larson, Margie Preuss, Minsu Kang, Ryan Veeder, and Margaret Ree. We should also thank Rob Wittig as well, of course, for moral support. And all those who contributed poems to playtest or reviewed the previous stories. Thanks to Chef Rogers for giving a tour of the Albion printing press. Couldn't have write these without you.
If you got here from the pit,
no, you're not. What are you doing? That's a spoiler of sorts. Okay, well, let's see. So what else do we need to cover here? Is it time for the raffle yet? Or is it time to watch the videos that you guys made back in the day of
I
earlier
think
this
it's
year?
time for the
raffle. Okay, time for the raffle. All right. So what are we giving away as our raffle prize? Free copy of the book?
free copy of the book.
Free copy of the book. Okay. All right. So I hope you all bought your raffle tickets. And why don't you grab one of my hats to draw the tickets out of? And we're going to put we have to put all the tickets in there. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so who wants to pick? Which one? Okay, Jay wants to pick. All right, Jenna is gonna pick to see who the big winner is. Here we go.
74918. Whose ticket is that? Rob? That's your ticket?
Oh, it's me. Look,
Rob,
it's me. It's
Rob with
me.
one.
It's me. Woohoo!
Oh,
Ha!
all
Woo!
right.
Woohoo!
Yay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. We will make sure that you get not only a free copy of the book, but also a copy of this video recording of you winning the book.
Yip, 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 yip. Is
And
it? Is
also,
it?
like,
It
occasionally
can it
we
be?
will also, I promise we will pull things out of this hat as well for you.
Oh, yay!
More drawings in the future.
We're gonna pull more drawings.
And we'll do more drawings.
Yes, we'll do.
We'll
more.
do more drawings.
Yay!
All right, now should we show the previous videos, or should we take some audience questions? What do you think? What okay, all right,
No,
well,
video.
all right, well, we'll do a few minutes of audience questions. It looks like our dear friend, and close guide and advisor of the Mrs. Wobbles stories, Kevin, who's also somebody's godfather, who's played the part of Mandu, has a question. So let's see what his question is. I'm going to change my hat.
I wanted to see the videos.
You wanna see the
videos of
video?
The old days with that nice trim beard that you had in the old days, and
The video. Oh, but that's not what the video. Yes, but that's not what the video is. The video is the kids have made short recordings where they say what the stories meant to them. Would you like to see that? Oh,
And I have hair.
what's that? What's all right? D wants his played first, so he'll get a play first. So here, so sharing video, optimize for video. That's how it works. All right.
Hi, I'm Davion Marino. Mark Marino's son. I write with my sister on the Mrs. Wobble stories. I writing those stories, Mrs. Wobbles, has really brought me closer with like my family, with my dad and mom. We started them, and after we started them, it's just been like a really fun process in writing them. What Mrs. Wobbles has meant to me, it's like it hasn't gotten my story out there, but it's gotten people to know what like the basics of adoption and foster care in like a fun kind of twist if people want to read about it. And some advice for future families. I mean, it's just everybody has an imagination. This started off of our imagination, and it's gotten so far. And I feel like if you have an imagination, that can take you anywhere. So yeah.
Now, notice that self-control, that even while he was filming the video, he did not stop it to answer the text message that came in while he was recording that. So there we go. That was beautiful. Oh, and maybe for people watching this, who watch the recording of this, may not know that there's something we didn't mention, which is that the stories all take place at the Tangerine house, which is a magical foster care home, and it's run by Mrs. Wobble. We kind of left all that out. Yeah, we kind of skipped over all the backstory. We assume that you guys were all super fans, but you might be seeing this for the first time. All right, should we see Jenna now? Yes, I guess so.
Let's go.
Oh. Okay, so we're gonna grow Jenna's hair back. We got to optimize for video, and here we go.
Hello all, thank you so much for being here. I'm so sorry that I can't be there in person, but know that I am watching, although this version of me isn't watching. The future, I'm watching. What I think is really special about the Mrs. Wobbles games and making games as a family is that there's spillover of our lives into the stories, and I think doing this writing and this game making has helped our family to process a lot of stuff. You know, we might not realize it, but when we're making these stories, and you know, for me with Land Down Under, that was the beginning of my processing my perfectionism and my OCD. And even though I didn't realize it at the time, I was planting those seeds for learning how to cope. And that was one of my ways that I was coping. Was I was writing about it, and I was talking about it, and I was trying to help others feel like how I felt, you know, wanting everything to be so perfect. And that also bleeds into this the new story that's coming out right now. And then, you know, having a dad who's kind of bridging the gap between what we see as like metaphor and, you know, how our child brains process these types of things into, like, you know, real morals and things like that. That was also a learning experience for me. That was like a way that he was able to reach me, and, you know, speak my language, which was really incredible. And even today, you know, like, I'm realizing that maybe he was paying attention, you know, as I see some of our lives seep into these stories. And maybe he did know what was going on, and he had some sort of all-knowing plan all along. And all this to say, thank you for supporting games and supporting art and writing and collaboration like this, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And I hope you get the opportunity to write with someone that you love.
Oh, those were so sweet. Those were sweet. All right, so just as by way of wrapping up, let me just share a few more, a quick photo, I don't know, montage of photos that I think are sweet. So that how is that we're in with the song? Okay, so here we are back in the day, just so you could see, or this kind of like back in the day, and somewhat post that. You can see Davion and I were zooming when we were sharing this picture. Here's Davion. Every year Davion reads this story to his preschool class. And so here's a time we had to Zoom because it was during COVID. You could see their COVID masks. This next picture was us when we were at Indiecade, where we presented as a family. I think it was Spy Eye that was a nominee back in 2018. I believe it was. Some other projects we're working on. Well, I guess it's including with Kevin, the Dad Jokes game, and Poser at the Museum Gala. This is us posing for the illustrations. This is how the illustrations happen. We pose for them, and then we send them to Brian Gallagher to do his renderings of them. So you can see that those from Davion's story, action figures, get transformed into this. Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the witch splatted against the window. And then we use this as a chance to look at a few more illustrations from Brian Gallagher. Here's some scenes from Spy Eye with them flying around on their beds around the Capitol Records building. Here's some shots from Switcheroo. And then here is us, some other through the years pictures we've had of the three authors. And of course, a picture from a very special adoption ceremony here. That's us with the former LA Mayor Kevin Hahn and Kenneth Hahn, rather, not Kevin Schaaf, but Kenneth Hahn, and Mary Landrieu, who was the senator from Louisiana who started the foster care and adoption program, or Congressional Coalition on Adoption. That's what her program is called. Here's some drawings from one of our other illustrators over the years. This is illustrations from Jenna's story. And here is that other illustrator, Noel. Can you say his last name?
No.
Tinsman Kong's house. And then there's Maria Goicoechea, there's Brian Gallagher on the side. And then there's Margaret Ree, who we mentioned, Raika Aoki, Annie Taylor, and Lila Hinchy also provided poems to us at some point. Yeah, Lila contributed poems. And there's the old cover for unboxing, and there we are. Then we're back around. All right, I'm gonna read one more passage just to send us off. And again, feel free to log off if you guys prefer, but this is
Want to log off?
well, they may have already be pausing things or fast. Who knows? Anyway, here we go. So this is the table of lost contents that we'll sort of close with. Table of lost contents. Wednesday, last Wednesday in particular, my keys, I know I left them somewhere around here. The way to be a book, the way to keep my pages in order, the joy of telling a story in one fixed sequence, restrooms in case you have to go. See, I usually put my keys on the shelf or on the keyboard. Sorry about that. Chapter 1, chapter 2, Santana. That's the villain of the story. A poem. Oh, this is pointless. This is just a list and not a short one because I have lost quite a bit and no longer know what I contain. I'm more like a box than a book, and like a box that can't see inside of itself. A box whose opening hides more than it reveals. Or a box that, having been opened, cannot be shut. A box whose mere existence means it must be opened. I am more like a box than a book. But I am more like a book than a song, and am more like a song than a hug. But I would like to hug you for whatever you have lost. For I am the book of the lost. And if you can help put me back together, you just might help Cece heal through her story. For what are stories after all? But chances to take the blown apart pages, the disordered pages of life, and give them a beginning, middle, and end. And doesn't that feel as cozy as a hug? And doesn't that feel as kind as eyes that regard all your words as right where they should be? Okay, all right, gang. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, especially our special guests, Kevin and Rob, who were willing to be incorporated into this. The other
Woohoo!
thanks to the other audience, all the other audience members, and we hope that you'll enjoy this book. We hope you enjoyed this recording. Do you guys have any last words you would like? Not last words is a hard thing to say. We don't mean last words. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Middle words?
Middle words. Yeah, middle words.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. Jenna, anything you would like to add to that?
I have no more middle words.
No more middle words. All right. So thanks it is. Thank you for watching this.
Woo!
Thank you for helping us along. Thanks for celebrating with
you.
us. And I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm not.
Thanks, everybody. Love the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. All right. Now I'm going to stop the recording.